Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Time for Tidbit Tuesdays. So I want to do a little refresher this week about things that are important for you to know about your policy and things to keep up with. It'll save you a headache in the long run. It'll save you from your coverage being canceled. And that's usually when people discover that there's an issue is because they're having a problem. They need to go to the doctor and they find out, whoops, something's not right. So first and foremost, when you get your policy, you need to understand what your copays are to go to a doctor, what falls under your copay, which is usually office visits. Again, depends on the plan. Sometimes labs, sometimes there's an urgent care copay. Know when your deductible applies. So what does that mean? Your deductible is when you have to meet a certain amount before payment by the insurance company is made. Very important. So depending on the kind of plan you have, if you have major medical insurance, these things are very important. Learn who's in network. I've already gone over that with you before we picked a plan, but confirm your doctors are in network and make sure you know the closest urgent care that is in network so that when you have an emergency, you know where you're going to go. Next, if you have a non-major medical plan like an indemnity plan or a short-term plan, depending on the coverage, you need to understand where prescriptions fall and if you can be reimbursed for services if you pay cash. So there's a lot of times it makes sense to be a cash patient, especially with indemnity plans, and you can file for reimbursement because if you're a cash patient, a lot of times you'll get a lower price and you can file for reimbursement and you can recover a lot of costs. I recently had a client that did not know they could file for their prescription reimbursement and been paying for prescriptions for 3 years and never filed for reimbursement. Now, depending on the prescription, the coverage had $20 for generic, $40 for name brand. So, if your generic's 10, you're still getting 20, so you're making money. If your name brand is more than 40, then you're paying the difference, but at least you're reimbursed something. So, know your plan. Sign up for your portal. I cannot stress this enough. Every company has a portal that has all your plan details, has provider search, has your explanation of benefit, has payment information, whether you're set up on auto pay, whether you're past due. All those things are super important. You can search meds in there. You can do all kinds of things. I am not available 24/7. Your portal is. I'm happy always to answer questions, but if it's a weekend, a holiday, after hours, you're not going to get me. And you may need to find an answer right then, and the best way to do that is be familiar with your portal, understand how it works. Next, make sure if you move, you update your address. Usually you can get with me on that, and I have to do that for you depending on what kind of plan you have, but I can always do it for you no matter what kind of plan you have. Make sure you update your address. Make sure your payment information is current. Did your credit card get hacked and they sent you a new one? Do you have it set up on bank draft, which is usually what I recommend because that's the least likely way you're going to have an issue with a payment declining unless you don't have enough funds. But a payment declining, you move and you change zip codes on a credit card, and the insurance company doesn't know your new zip code. They're still using the address they have on file. So now the payments are bouncing and you can lose your coverage because now you're not getting the letters either because you moved or you didn't put a change of address in at the post office. I know it's a little old school, but if you move, you need to have your mail forwarded. Important stuff comes in the mail occasionally, mostly junk, but occasionally you get something important. Make sure your email is current because maybe they'll communicate via email. Do these things, please. I can't tell you, I've had someone I told you this week that didn't file claims for 3 years on prescription. I had someone today call me, just found out they need to go to the doctor, they're having an issue, just found out their insurance canceled June 1st because the credit card payment didn't go through because they moved and failed to update their address. Now their policy can be reinstated because of the special kind of policy they have, but it won't be till August 1. They can't even go back and make the payments to get that account current. Insurance will cancel after 30 days if you do not make a payment. That's the grace period, 30 days. And my next question is, did you not notice it didn't come out of your bank account? That's why I usually recommend using your bank account. A lot of people don't look at their credit card statements, though you should. Make sure there's no fraudulent charges. It's the same thing with your banking info. I know no one balances their checkbook anymore like they used to, but you need to look at your account and just kind of scroll through and make sure all those charges look legit. Know what comes out of your account every month. If you don't notice your insurance have come out, then maybe you need to find out what's going on. If your house payment didn't come out, you're going to know, hey, my house payment didn't come out. What's going on? They do send letters, but again, if you don't update your address, which the house is not a good example, but with insurance, if you don't update the address, they're mailing you stuff and you're not getting it because you moved, you didn't update your address, and you didn't do a forwarding address with the post office. It costs $1. Please do this. Those are just some of the things I see. A lot of heartache can be resolved if you do all the right things, you understand your policy, you don't overpay, you understand what the coverage is, know when to be a cash pay, know when to use your policy. Some plans have limitations on wellness benefits. You need to understand these basic things, and I am here to help you with that. I'm always happy to talk to you, explain, email me, hey, I need an MRI. I look up your plan and go, all right, here's a network, here's what you do, here's the least cost-effective option. So I'm here to help you, but this is something you need to learn the basics. Because again, I'm not available 24/7. I'm always happy to help. But if you don't understand the basics of their policy, and I don't want to hear the excuse insurance is hard. Yes, it is hard, but you can still understand the basics and keep yourself from being overcharged and you're not overpaying. So it's my mom talk for this week. Get to know your insurance, sign up for your portal, and until next week, peace out.